and it's time for the end of the season. It only lasted more than a year.
Sure did.
Unfortunately, we are missing Kristen because she is working and could not come. But I did ask her where she thinks the games should go that she played, and so I have that for when it's time for that. We've changed the rules for this. So normally when we do a tier maker video like this, we do the rules where something has to be an A, B, C, and D, and if it deserves it, we can put something in S or F. But Dom has proposed a change to the rules specifically for T3 to make things harder for us.
Not harder, just worse. I think
just you're correct. Worse.
Correct.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Worse is a better choice there. Something has to be an S, A, B, C, D, and F, and only one thing can be an F. So we have to pick the worst thing.
I think only one thing can be an S also, but I don't think we'll have that as a problem. I don't think we will be fighting over that.
Correct. I agree. There are two games that I really enjoyed, but we'll see where things land. Let's just start in the.
Party's not on here.
Yeah. Let's just start in the top left. These are in no particular order, because I don't remember in what order we played these games. Tea Party Simulator. Dom, you played this one. Yeah, playable. It had Tibbers in it.
Oh yeah, that did happen. That was strange. It was playable but very laggy. So like, I would say. I mean, here's the thing: is if we're labeling them by like, I need to know our metric, because, I mean, in a video game tier maker or tier list, I would definitely call that D or F tier. But that's not how we're having to rate these, unfortunately. So I would say it's a solid B or C, because like it was very much in the middle of like, this game is not great, but at least it runs.
Yeah. Okay, Tim, where would you put it, having played it?
I would give it a B as well.
Watched it.
It was playable. It was at least interesting to watch, mainly because of everything clipping through everything else.
Okay.
It's not a good game, but it does qualify as a game.
Okay.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the most games I've ever played.
Next on the list,
right.
My Name is Mayo.
Yeah. Another Dom game.
It was a game that was specifically made in order to like have graphics.
Yeah. It was like, hey, let's make a game where we can take a jar of mayo and put a bikini on it.
Yeah, that was
honestly, I think it was the other way around. Someone got drunk and came up with all those assets, and then woke up the next morning and thought, I shouldn't let these go to waste. I should make a game about these.
Public service announcement. If you ever wake up and just have a bunch of images like this, don't make a game with it.
I thought you were just gonna say don't wake up.
Don't wake up. My Name is Mayo. Where do we put it?
D.
D. Okay.
I guess I could say C.
Yeah, I would put it in C. It's playable.
Okay.
It's
lowest C that would be there though. It's not game. It's just.
We'll see. All right, we got a bunch of Doms in there, so I'm gonna push mine up to be more at the top, so it's not just all one than the other. All right, so Ultra World. Well, this one was a platformer, kind of kooky side-scrolling platformer. The standard, let's make a difficult platformer but make it pretty. It was fine. Like, as these games go, I'd say probably an A. There was nothing wrong about it. It was just kind of a pain in the ass. I guess that the wrong thing was the bounding boxes were not always exactly matching the textures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I vaguely remember
Yeah.
watching you play some of this, and yeah, that was a common issue.
But as was common for several of the games that I got, I could see myself playing it again. So, A.
Bottom of A.
Okay, bottom of A. All right, let's
Yeah.
do thick air.
Honestly, if that game had some more work, I would have like it just like wasn't finished. It was 100% a game that could have been like actually decent if like things had gone into it more.
Yeah, it looks pretty jank.
like-
This was
Yeah.
the only game that I saw in this entire season that looked like missed potential. Some of these games are, they have fully lived up to their potential and there's just none there. This was the only one that looked like it could get seriously better if they put more work into it.
Yeah.
So, top of B, bottom of A? Where would you say?
I would say like A, like for sure, possibly could go into the S tier.
Oh, interesting.
Because I mean, like, it was an actual game by like
Temp.
all definitions.
Yeah.
I would say it's an S contender. I don't think it'll win S, but it deserves consideration.
Yes,
Okay.
that's basically what I mean.
Okay. All right, Jurassic Island, the dinosaur zoo. Now, you were talking about how thick air had missed potential. Jurassic Island also had missed potential because
Don't say piss potential.
pissed potential because it didn't do anything that it was supposed to. And it looked like it could be fun because you've got dinosaurs and stuff, but also it just didn't do. So,
Side story. Back in, I think, like 2010, 2011, I kickstarted a game called Novus Eterno, which advertised it as an 8X RTS. For the record, it still hasn't come out. It's gone through 2 or 3 rebrandings. It's a whole other thing. But
yeah.
before everything, hit the fan, they actually came out with a few playable demos. They didn't really have a whole lot of content in there, but just testing out mechanics and letting the community try them out. And one of the things that it did was it let you, populate planets and, put down, various facilities just to see what they look like on the various planets and make sure they didn't step on each other and things like that. And that's what, Jurassic Island felt like to me. It was just putting down facilities to see how they looked on the map without concerning yourself with whether they actually do anything.
Yeah. I mean, this is a C or D contender.
I would say D.
Okay, yeah. It had promise because it has an ankylosaurus in it, but it just didn't live up to anything.
Can you jump?
No, you couldn't jump.
Okay, yeah, so it's definitely bottom of the tier.
But depends on
Yeah.
how you define jump. I think some of the dinosaurs could glitch through the fences that you put down for them, which is kind of like jumping.
Soldiers of the Universe. All right, so this is one of the ones that Kristen played, and we
Except
have
it's
to
not.
we have to create a new row for this. And the reason is we have to create the
Failure to launch.
yeah. Well, we'll just say fail. Because it didn't run.
It's not that it didn't run well. It's
It
not
just-
that we disliked the content. It never booted.
Yep, it's just not a game because it didn't do anything.
We're apparently
Alright.
not Turkish enough to appreciate this game.
Yeah, that was the weird thing because it's like a super macho America game, and it's only popular in Turkey, was it?
Yeah.
Like, why? That's bonkers. All
I
right.
actually am friends with someone from Turkey. Turkey is a very weird place.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not talking about Turkey, Texas? The
No,
small
no,
city
I'm
in
not.
Texas that would appreciate a macho American game?
All right. So, Tim, where do I put One Day for Chad? Because it was a game. It's definitely a game.
Yeah. This game, I think, was everything it was intended to be. It's just a question of whether what it was intended to be has any redeeming value.
Yeah, no. This game is a magnus opus in the mind of the person who created it. But to everyone else, it's just a fever trip that's not fun. It was the worst game I played. So
I would say bottom of C if that wasn't where we'd already tacked Mayo. Do you think it was better or worse than Mayo? I personally think it was worse, but Dom really didn't like Mayo.
I mean, I like clicker games. That's not what that was.
You're sure? You clicked on a lot of stuff.
Not really. I really didn't.
See, here's the thing.
Tim.
I was thinking of this as a potential F contender, knowing that there's definitely probably one of Dom's games that actually fits that place. So you're saying bottom of C. How about we put it above Jurassic Island in D?
That's fair.
Because, gosh, it was a bad game. All right, so we have the other Kristen game here, and she said this was actually an A, Renzo Racer. It's just an animal kart racing game similar to the type that Tim loves, because I don't know how, but Tim has given us 3 animal kart racing games.
They are
this
consistently
year.
bad.
Yeah.
This one I would call inoffensive. It's not terrible. It doesn't hurt you to play it. It's just something you pick up and say, yeah, okay, that was a game. I didn't hate it. I'm probably never going to touch this again.
Yeah. So Kristen said it was probably an A game. Where would you put it?
I would agree that in this context, compared to these other games, it's an A game.
Okay. So in between, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, literally everything on this list has to be like,
yeah.
There has to be a disclaimer that's just like according to this list and not actual like how we think of games.
Yeah. Okay. Robotex or Robot X. Dom.
Was that the side-scrolly shooter?
I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty
too.
sure it was.
It was fine. I think I was able to beat a level, which automatically puts it at like C.
Okay. So it's at least C. Gotcha.
Yeah. Which is incredible, honestly. I've never seen a bar that low.
Which is funny because I actually beat 2 levels in One Day for Chad.
Yeah, okay, it's what I think it was. It was okay. I would say C tier. It was like it functioned.
Okay. Tim?
Yeah, that's about what I'd say about it. It functioned. It felt to me like a mid to late 2000s Flash game.
Okay. Some of those were pretty good.
Yeah, some of them were. A lot of them weren't.
All right, Tim, you're going to have to rein me back now. Because Fantasy Blacksmith...
I do agree that Fantasy Blacksmith is another S contender.
Okay, thank you. You picked it because you thought it would be boring as fuck, and I was sitting there the whole time like, ooh, what am I gonna get to do next? Ooh, this is exciting. I love this. So, clarification on the rules. Are we allowed to have more than one S game?
I would say there should only be one because it's important for us to fight over it.
Yeah, I agree.
But counterpoint to that, we're already going to get to fight over F tier.
Yeah. Sure. You know what? Let's allow multiple S tiers so that we can actually praise some of these developers if we need to.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, Fantasy Blacksmith is definitely going in S tier. There's going to be something above it, but and we'll of course go back through at the end and talk about, you know, remove some of these, switch them around. All right. Calvin Tucker's Farm Animal Racing, the other animal kart racing game that we got from Tim for this show.
So this is another Mario Kart knockoff. It kind of felt like someone half remembered liking Mario Kart and
64.
then watched footage from Renzo Racer and decided to replicate it without having ever played either of them.
Yeah. Now it's definitely a Mario Kart 64 ripoff. Except they're like, oh, we've got a redneck theme going on. Let's have these farm animals riding tractors and stuff. And because we're rednecks, we can do crude things like have the pig fart to go faster. I still can't figure out whether the pig's superpower was farting to go faster or farting to hurt whatever was close behind him.
I don't know.
At
this point, I choose not to think about it anymore.
So, but it played.
This game can't hurt me anymore.
It played, so it's automatically at least C, maybe B tier. And I don't want to put it in B tier. But,
I don't either.
But I feel like it was better running than Tea Party Simulator.
Probably.
That doesn't take a whole lot.
Where would you say, Tim?
I would say below robotics.
Okay. Oh, hush, Hector. Okay, I can agree with that. I don't know robotics, but I'll agree with it. All right, so speaking of robots, how about Robot versus Birds Zombies, which is a stupid fucking name.
Sure is. Was that one of the ones I played?
Yeah.
I literally don't remember it.
I don't
Me either.
Let me look it up on Steam.
Robots I edited that video, but I don't. I never
zombies?
understood what that was, and I watched the VOD back and edited the video and stuff. I have no idea.
I think it was just like Angry Birds, kind of. Yeah, it sort of tried to be like Angry Birds. That was basically what it was.
Again, that was more than a year ago. So
yeah, like it functioned and was playable. I would say it's.
I guess it wasn't bad enough to be memorable.
Here's the thing. I think it should be C tier and Mayo should be D tier because it was so inoffensive that I can't remember it, and unfortunately, I remember Mayo.
We good with that change?
I can agree with that.
Yeah, Mayo was so inoffensive that I do remember it. Yeah, in a bad way somehow.
All right, so now we're getting to my other S tier, which it makes sense because it's a AAA game. Like,
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's
getting over it with Bennett Foddy is absolutely an S tier game because of all the games on this list. Getting over it with Bennett Foddy is the one that anyone's ever heard of. Like,
yeah.
realistically.
And it's a game that you make other people play because it is a very well designed game.
Oh yeah, it's a good game, and the point of it being on here is that it's tough, but like being difficult in itself is not a bad thing.
No.
It's punishing and it can be miserable, but that's not a bad thing. It's the Dark Souls of walking simulators.
Is it a walking simulator or is it a platformer?
I guess platformer maybe. But I don't know that it's a
Dark Souls of platformers because instead of jumping, you have to use your mouse to fucking climb shit.
Yeah.
It's the Dark Souls of sexy hiking clones.
What is sexy hiking?
It's the game that Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy was based on. It's
Really?
not sexy at all. Yeah.
Literally thought Tim made up something.
Nope. All right,
I
Tim.
hate it when Tim isn't making something up.
Gasp.
This
This
definitely goes
bad game.
in
Yeah.
the D tier.
It was
This
playable.
it was
first level though.
it had controls that interacted with the game. I wouldn't go so far as to say it was playable. Mainly because the only thing that I ever verified actually works was WASD and jump.
Yeah, I guess it had.
Once I found something, I couldn't actually interact with it.
Yeah, it didn't really have controls that interacted with the environment. It had control that interacts with the environment, and that was the W key.
Yeah. And the environmental hazards weren't. I couldn't get them to kill me when I tried.
Yeah. So, Tim, we'll go through this. You said D. Above or
D,
below
definitely.
Mayo?
Below.
Below Mayo.
Okay. Above or below One Day for Chad?
I would say below Ched, but above Dinosaur Island.
Okay. All right. And now our F one. F is for fuck. This is the Gabe Newell simulator.
Ooh, yeah. This is the one that made me open up porn on stream on accident.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Literally, still cannot believe that happened.
So, where do we put Gabe Newell simulator?
I mean, it can't be the worst game. It made me open up porn on stream once. That's the funniest possible thing.
All right. So B with the other simulator.
Oh no, it's definitely D.
Okay. All right. So,
Now, I
above or
need to
below Gasp?
explain, it should be past F tier, but I refuse to let it do that because that was the funniest thing that could have happened on stream.
So, content-wise, S tier. Game-wise, F tier.
Yes, sure.
Saddam, would you argue for it being above or below Gasp?
Below.
Okay. Tim, above or below Jurassic Island, the dinosaur zoo?
I would say above, but just barely.
Okay. Then it sounds like we have an F tier, which is Jurassic Island, the dinosaur zoo.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. Who would have thought that I would have the best games and the worst game?
I mean, that tracks for this show, I think.
It was the best of games, it was the worst of games.
All right, so I think we're happy with Getting Over It and Fantasy Blacksmith where they are. Do we move Thick Air up?
Which one?
Thick Air.
Yeah.
I was going to say I think Thick Air deserves its place at the top of A. Getting Over It and Fantasy Blacksmith were both realized products. They were what they should have been. They could become better, but, you know, they were viable as is. Thick Air still needed a lot of work put into it before it could become anything good.
Okay. I mean, the logic makes sense. I'm fine with Renzo Racer and Ultra World where they are. And Ultra World was a good game. It just, you know, they need to work on their hitboxes some. I'm amazed that Tea Party Simulator is in B tier.
We needed something.
Yeah, I mean, something has to be there.
Yeah, I'm good with C. D's okay. I'm a little surprised that Gabe Newell Simulator isn't an F.
I mean, it should be, but
But there could only be one.
Yeah. And then Jurassic Island, the Dinosaur Zoo, and then Soldiers of the Universe, which didn't even run. Which is weird, because if Soldiers of the Universe ran, I feel like it would be a good C or B contender. But
From what I saw of it in, gameplay footage, probably it would have been low B or high C.
yeah.
But it didn't.
It just didn't. All right. Well, join us in 3 years when we finish the next season of T3.
Yeah, what's the half-life on each episode? Because it definitely increases over time.
Yeah, it'll probably be a bit before we do T3 again. One, because I think we've run through our awful games. I know Tim has found one by the same people that did the zoo race.
Yep. I can find more. Whenever you guys are ready, I can find more.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever actually be ready. That's the thing. What about you, Dom?
What was the question?
When are you going to be ready for more T3? Yep.
Trying to think of how many years that might exist.
And then
N
that
plus 1.
plus 1, yeah. All right, well. If this ever comes back, we'll see you then. 1% and...
Come on.
And dead percent!
Dead percent.
I
I'm currently wearing this asteroid as... Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. You just had
Apparently
to be
I
dead
had to
percent.
get to like minus 10 dead percent before it would